At this time, I turn it over to none other than the great, the marvelous Brother Nathan A. Dailey. Brother Dailey,
Hey, Dr. Carter, how you doing?
man, how you doing,
Thank
Doc?
you. I'm doing good, and hello, Black Wall Street family. Thank you so much again for patience and all of you guys coming out and supporting. Dr. Carter, it's been a wild 3 weeks.
Oh, I know, Doc.
It was, and it's going to get even more interesting. Dr. Carter, I'm going to try to keep it much more of you and I kind of having a conversation because you mentioned something, and I thought it was a good place. This session, when people come back and listen to it, I hope they get a chance to really sit down and understand what we're about to talk about, you and I, because I want them to hear it happening in real time, especially because we hadn't talked since I left Tulsa.
Right.
And, there's so much that I got a chance to see when I was there. I was there for about 4 days, and I was able to kind of interact with a lot of folks. But I would shoot myself in the foot if I didn't pause and just tell y'all, Sister Rahima, it's just an amazing and special person. She's just,
yes, she is.
You can't find strength and integrity and resiliency, but it's hard to find people with energy like that in 2025. I know I'm not 40 yet, but her energy, her strength, the inner strength. She said if I gotta do it this way, I'm gonna get everything done, and she did, and she sure enough did, and I was so grateful for the whole Black Wall Street family, and specifically the chapter there in Tulsa, and then Mount Bayou, Sister Etha King, she sent her representatives there as well. I knew if she didn't have other stuff to do, she would have been right there too, and I got to give a shout out to her. But it was, our sessions, Sister Karen Reese and Dr. Little, they showed up. I just got a message from Dr. Little, said they submitted their grant. I said, well, let me see. So, they went ahead and submitted theirs last Friday. So I'm just excited. And, we talk about this and all the time, Dr. Carter, that it's 20% of people do 80% of the work. And 80% of the people, they complain because they don't see but, the reality is that, the Black Wall Street family is here. USA is here.
Yeah.
We are here. And
yes, Lord.
I'm grateful to God that we have people in this family, in this organization. We may not all agree on every idea. We may not always want to do every venture or understand every industry. But we do understand the mission that we have to do collectively.
Right.
And, it is, guys, if you're listening, it's so important to get involved now, not just because of what's happened on a geopolitical stance, but what's happening in Tulsa. That's why this organization was created, because of what happened in 1921. And really, 1921 was not what happened. What happened was before 1921, but it all culminated to the existence of a city that looks like what we have today.
Yes.
And it really is a blessing to have been able to sit in the commemoration, to sit and get a chance to meet with Pastor Mays, one of the only churches that were standing there. The businesses up and down the Greenwood District. There are 2 chambers of commerce there, guys. I'm going to just tell you exactly what I saw, and then y'all can do what you want with it. But I think it's important, Dr. Carter, that we talk about it because I'm seeing it from two angles. The first I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I'm going to talk about the areas in which they need help in. I'm going to talk about those areas first today. And then I'm going to talk about what the mayor is doing in order to make sure that he is doing his part. not as a mayor, because this has nothing to do with a political position for him. I can tell you that. This has to do with legacy. This has to do with what it means for the African-American people in that community and white people, and believe it or not, and white people. It's not just black folks who voted for him. Okay, we think that, but it's not. There was a coming together there, and I'm going to talk about some of that today. And I hope people, if they get a chance to listen to it, it's important. But here's something that I saw that I want to share, because Dr. Carter, this is in every community. It's not just in Tulsa, and that is, it really is the blight. It is the despair. It has nothing to do with money, Dr. Carter. It really doesn't. Right. It has everything to do with the spirit. People, after 1921, you could tell 100 years ago the spirit was sort of destroyed there. And it wasn't that it was lost, but you can tell that after 25 years and 25 years and 25 years and, different episodes of different versions of the Trump coming in. And he's not our first George Wallace that we've dealt with, y'all. This guy's just rinsing and repeating the trail of tears.
That's all it is.
I'm trying my best to speak it without becoming confrontational, but it's important that we understand
Speak the truth.
as
our
organization that, Dr. Carter, we have something that no one else does. And that is, even though, it's not just legacy. We know what to do. We've been here. It's experience. And I can't say enough about that word, but when you see plight, and guys, if you didn't know, I end up driving out to Tulsa from D.C. I didn't intend to do that. It just sort of happened because I had to stop at different solar farms and sites and check on the progress there and report back to some of my stakeholders, where we were in those projects. Mm-hmm. So I got a chance to stop in Atlanta. I got a chance to stop in New Orleans. Got a chance to stop in Houston and Brady, Texas, and Abilene, Texas, where, remember, guys, we talked about Elon Musk. I got a chance to then go to Tulsa, and then my final stop before I made it home was Memphis. I got a chance to deal with Elon Musk and what's happening there, and we're going to talk about that because I do actually have the study on that, and that is my team that's actually providing the environmental study to Mayor Young. So I want to put that out there. We'll talk about that. Maybe not get to it this time. Yeah, so it's important. We're in the middle of this thing. And so one of the things I'll say about Tulsa that I saw was that it was almost like a tale of two cities. And I'm not talking about white people and black people. I'm talking about two different versions of black people. There was this version of black folks that understood not just the legacy and the history, but they knew that they could do it again. There was hope. There was this understanding, this inspiration that it wasn't over for them yet. It was just the beginning. And then there was the other version, the version that was completely lost, that it wasn't the buildings that had lost its shingles, it was the soul that seemed to have lost its creator. And, when you see these two dynamics, it's hard for us to talk about because we don't like the words, black on black violence, racism. People are very touchy about certain words and communities. But the reality is that it is true that our people still haven't woken up. There's a big section of us who haven't believed in each other again. And that, when I got there, Sister Rahima, it was so wonderful, and we got a chance to speak at the Tulsa Library and do our courses and our workshops there. If you didn't get a chance to come, don't worry. I will definitely be back, and I'm going to have a lot more ammo this next time. But I also got a chance to go and speak at a church. And one of the things that really came out was the word resilience. The Bishop Holden was there, and it's just a beautiful, authentic church. I mean, it was just real people doing real things, believing in a real God. And what I saw there, I saw fertile ground. It was really fertile. And I'm not just talking about the spirit of the people, but I'm talking about even the spirit of the lost people. You could see that they were still searching for their way home. And so, as I got a chance to tour the city, I got a chance to stop and see the Reconciliation Way, John Hope Bryan. I got a chance to see of course, the highway that they built right in between Greenwood, where Black Wall Street. I got to see the university that stands on the ground that is still soaked with our ancestors' memories and what they've erected on top of that. And then I got a chance to see what a lot of the citizens, define as gentrification. And I'm mentioning this because you heard right when we started this controlled regeneration thing, you heard me talk about it's an alternative to gentrification. And when you go there to Tulsa, you can see, and the people believe that they have effectively been pushed closer to the North Tulsa area. And this is not just in Tulsa, but I think it's a good place for us to establish a symbolic memory and to remember what that even word kind of means. When they can't gentrify you, then they just off and bomb you. And then it is sort of right here that I'm hoping that we can all continue to build together as an organization, but also sharing some of the knowledge that we're gleaning from one another on this platform, because they are hiding information from us. Let's make no mistake. Those websites that we pulled out, if you go to some of them, they're disappearing left and right. Left and right.
Yes, sir.
They're disappearing. And I said to myself, I said, God, I can't even create a library for the information because it's disappearing. It's like once we start to realize it's there and they give us the tools, then they take it away and say, oh, now we got to play another game of hide and seek. And I just think that there's much more opportunity for us to work together in the context of how we approach Tulsa as Black Wall Street. I'm not talking about this in theory. I'm not talking about this in theory at all. I'm talking about really understanding how this comes together and lands right into our front doorstep. And to explain this, I want to share one particular site that I saw, which was the highway that kind of went right through the Greenwood district. They ended up cutting out African Americans and creating this highway right through the district. And those who know, this is true. If you've been there, if you read the history, it's true. And you can see how they try to cut off our information, almost like them trying to cut off the website, but using capital infrastructure projects to do it. Now, I know that people tired of hearing infrastructure. Nate, I thought we was getting grants. I thought we was doing this. And I'm always going to come back to these conversations because it's integrity that matters. But the reality is that if we don't continue to understand infrastructure, we're going to be cut off. And if we don't understand that it is our black mayors, whether it is Mayor Monroe Nichols or it is Mayor Paul Young, or it is Mayor from Memphis or the mayor from Baltimore, Brandon Scott, or even if it's Mayor Johnson in Chicago, all the way down to New Orleans and all the other, even Mayor Bass, who's currently dealing with one of the worst modern-day crises that truly, since George Floyd, is truly manufactured at the hands of a hostile administration toward those people who look different than them. We are in an age and a time where we have to really be vigilant with one another. And these courses, these classes, these podcasts that we're doing, I say that, I'm not going to stop them. I don't care how tired I am. I mean, and it is, I do get tired, but I have to continue them because as they move the information around, so must I. And as I sat down and I spoke with one of the leaders there from the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce, one of the things that he said to me, he said, Nathan, there's a feud going on because the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce and the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce wants to be the Chamber of Commerce that black people go to. And there kind of was some friction there. And I just told him, y'all know me, I'm a straightforward person. I said, well, that just sounds silly to me. I mean, it's not like there's only, what's wrong with having 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? What's wrong with having 100? It wasn't like we had one grocery store. It wasn't like we had one restaurant. The cluster effect is what draws individuals to that area. So when you have more than one, it says that we have options. And so that's what capitalism is. It's a competition. But it's the challenge is what happens when you get confused between competition and coveting. And you can see how when we covet and when there was coveting done, and I argue that, white folks and black folks are essentially the same in that we were capitalists. I would argue that the difference was we were competing at a very high level, and the capitalists, the white capitalists who could not keep up, used their racism because they coveted our lifestyles. They coveted what was there. And so then you see when God says to us, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's donkey, your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's land, your neighbor's house. This is to protect our spirits. It's not, he didn't say competition. He didn't say we weren't supposed to compete. He said we weren't supposed to covet. That means having this desire, this lust for your person's, another neighbor's lifestyle. And so it's here that I want to say that when I saw the areas that were so similar between Atlanta, New Orleans, Houston, Memphis, and Memphis was kind of really heartbreaking as I drove down some of those streets. But the reality is you can tell that we haven't learned that the real enemy to our progress right now is learning how to compete without coveting. And that's for all of us, not just white folks. It's for all of us to understand that spirit, that's what gave rise to that fuel, that racist heart, that hate, that allowed them to say, we're going to send 25,000 people to bomb and burn down a community we can't keep up with. We cannot compete with. And it is something that I will continue. I'm going to continue to flesh this lesson out in terms of what I learned from the historical legacy of Tulsa. But I also kind of had a chance to lean on and see that there is such a resilient spirit there that people are what they say they were and are. They were entrepreneurs. They are entrepreneurs. They will still be entrepreneurs with or without what we do. But the question is, are we all working together? And I'm hoping that as I continue to flesh out the new stage of wherever they're planning to do with the infrastructure, that will most and no doubt seems to be coveting every area of communities that don't look like them. It is going to be what Dr. Carter has explained to us in many different ways. And while I probably would use different language, the reality is they are, in fact, outnumbered. They are, in fact, understanding that this world is changing. And in doing so, we have to also continue to compete at a very high level, or we will fall victim to their covetous behavior and their covetous spirit. And so as we look at capitalism, and I go into just a few things I want to share with us about Tulsa, I'm going to continue sharing the not some of the lessons that I was able to observe there, but also some of the opportunities that I learned from the business owner there. I patronized the restaurants there. I had a limit a day that I wanted to make sure we spent into each one of those communities, and we were able to do that. I was able to do that, all the way down from the ice cream shops to the souvenir shops, all the way up into the cigar lounge and the coffee shops. I was able to meet with a lot of those business owners, and they're just like the folks on this call. They believe in what they're doing. They believe in what they have, and they know that there's a real opportunity for them to continue being successful because the spirit is there. And one of the things that I'm sure some of us have heard already on this call, and I was there at the announcements, and I got a chance to sit down with Mayor Nichols afterward to really discuss some of the plans of raising $140 million to actually provide relief for a capital improvement to our communities. And I will be involved in that. I will be helping with that. I'm asking the Black Wall Street family to help with that and do so very specifically. I won't say just in general what I'm not gonna just throw it out there and say, pick and just come up with something new. I'm going to be very specific in saying that the e-commerce business that is already taking root in Tulsa, there is a Black tech director. They are very much involved, and to God be the glory. I got a chance to speak with Mr. Beasley, and I got a chance to be on a call with Rick Reese and Mr. Bennett. And they are real technologies that are coming out right now so that we do not get left behind in the digitalization of the world, so that we are not excluded from this infrastructure that really will connect us to the information of tomorrow. And so there are products right now, and I don't know if they're on the call, but there are men who are currently in our organization sharing products and services that will keep up with tomorrow's pace and be a true champion competitor in this world of capitalism that we're getting ready to see ourselves, or that we are currently watching ourselves get into. And so I'm praying that God will continue to lead us as we find the ways to connect one another to these resources. I have to talk about the energy system, because there are a couple things I'm going to share about Tulsa online that you can find, and I'm going to kind of restructure ourselves so we can go right into these cities, go right into what our mayors are doing, and we can support them from wherever we are in the nation and the world. But I think that the careful part about this new digitalization in this new age of information, is something to be said about how we view the highway coming in to cut off us in the gentrification period. And I'm not going to go too deep, but I think it's important that we understand that without broadband, without internet service, that's just like them putting a highway through our economies, okay, to keep us from information or having access to the downtown financial markets, commerce, et cetera, et cetera. But when we look at what we've created and we look at where we're going, the conversation that I'm going to continue to press upon us is that we have to support our local communities. And you remember a couple times I brought Mr. Charles Sharp on from the Black Emergency Managers Association. That was the birth child of what happened after Katrina, when we found out that help would be coming, but not for us. Then we created an association here in D.C., not me, but my elders did, so that the information would begin to flow back down somewhere in some channel. And I'm mentioning that because one of the things he always says to everywhere he goes is that you got to know what your local community is doing to prepare for disasters. Well, you hear him talk about that over and over again, and then you see these disasters, and I'm going to continue to bring them on. But the reality is that we have to work with our local community leaders. And so even in District 73, where you have that representative, he's in the room. You have several different who are listening to us, and they're providing the procurement opportunities, but we have to be prepared to apply for them in those local areas. Because at the end, that is your taxpayer dollars, that is your tax money that should be used for you so that you can get the things you need to get accomplished. And I'm just going to give us a few examples of what I mean today, because I know it's a mouthful and I'm already at 4:30. One of the first things we're going to talk about is if you have not got a chance to visit the website of the City of Tulsa, please do. Please go to cityoftulsa.org. And when you go there, at the top is going to be development and business. You're going to see government. You'll see a lot of different things. But I want us to focus on where it's saying that there's economic development. And when you go to that economic development, you're actually going to find a link there from Mr. Persley that allows us to say what is to partner with Tulsa. It's going to say partner Tulsa. And it's going to start to lay out all the growing opportunities in this economy for all of us. And when you see this partner for Tulsa, they're talking about things like low business costs, access to capital, and a coordinated approach to the city government's a city government that fuels the successful companies there. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up to us is because when I go onto these websites, or when I look at these websites and I'm researching what information is pertinent to us, it is without a doubt that as we raise the funds to rebuild the city, we are going to need businesses to move into the area. The reason isn't just for taxes. The reason is because we need to begin to create a cluster effect for all of us so that we can be able to know where to work, live, and learn, but most importantly, shop and spend and save it, and what areas we need to be thinking about so that we can participate in the next generation of e-commerce. And that will require the internet. Obviously, that is one of the big components. It will require energy, which is one of the reasons why I was there speaking on how to get farmers involved into the power grid using some of the solar energy grants and funding that's already sitting out there that's available. I felt that was the most important part, as well as understanding the 502 and 504 loans that SBA and the USDA has put out as a response to FEMA not coming, but now we need to still have a place to live and fix our roofs. But there's going to be more resources that come out, but it will only be, in many cases, state to local or local to state. And it's something we need to be aware of, because as you continue to see the theater unfold on a national stage, you have to understand the governors and the mayors have a responsibility to protect their state and their citizens. And because they do, they need folks like us, that 20% who's still listening, who's still watching. They need us to really double down on teaching each other the rules of procurement. Because if we don't get these rules right, they will come in and say, oh, you embezzled, or you didn't misappropriated funds, or you tried to commit fraud, waste, and abuse. They are going to lie, okay? And I wish I could have a better picture, but it really will come as a result of ignorance and not as one of intention, and they know it because they continue either shifting the goalposts, hiding information, or just downright don't want you to have it and are willing to just make this stuff up and make you fight it. And as a result of that, it's important, the more things that we learn, it has to be in line from the very beginning with what we want in the end. And so that's why I asked her, I said, I want us to move in a direction where we're actually partnering with Tulsa. And one of the things that I saw there, and if you get a chance to take a look, they have current opportunities. When you click on that link, there's going to be a request for proposals. And y'all know I always like to give y'all complete information when we do this. So I want everyone to go in there and just start to take a look at some of the opportunities that have already came out, because it is here that we're going to be able to find ways to not just partner with Tulsa, but also make the name and connect the dots for Black Wall Street and support the mayor, which happens to be honestly a man of real integrity. I'm very proud of what Mayor Monroe Nichols has been able to do. But those business owners need us. They need us to help set that tone. And if you are in the Atlanta area, or you are following some of this work that we've been talking about in the Atlanta area, I want to share with you that there are, Atlanta has a lot of Black millionaires there. And the reality is we need your help in Tulsa as well. And it's not because of Tulsa is greater than any other city, but it is a memorial. It is a reminder of what we do when all of us come together. Because it wasn't just Black folks who owned those businesses. There were Native American folks, there were Latino folks, there were Black and brown folks who understood how to compete in a capitalistic world that discriminated against them because they did not look like them. And they were called either inmates or immigrants. And so, or worse, in the Native American, they were called savages and other derogatory names. And I'm mentioning these names because you see them happening now. And it's not long before they come back to our communities, but we need to have the infrastructure to be ready to take them on. And so I wanted everybody to take a moment to take a look at that. And that's partner, if you're still looking for that website, it's partnertulsa.org. And you're going to hear me talk a lot more about that because there's a lot of news, a lot of events that are happening in this community that we need to be aware of. One of the things I'm going to highlight here, after you get a chance to see some of the current opportunities because it's there, one of the things is going to be in the housing space. I was very grateful to Sister Rahim for sharing. I was able to stay in an Airbnb there. It was a wonderful Airbnb. It was owned by an African-American lady, woman. I'm not going to give her name out because I didn't get permission. But one of the things that I appreciated was that the house was completely renovated. And I can't speak for all of the properties there, but I do know that there are folks on this call who know about fix and flips. They know about buy and holds. They know about the redevelopment of properties. And when I begin to talk to some of the business owners, and they invested their money in that Greenwood district, trying to build and rebuild, and they talk to me about gentrification, about how they're coming into our neighborhoods, I frequently ask them, I said, well, how many properties have you bought in there? I mean, how many properties have you were able to just go in and renovate without the idea or without the reasoning for trying to buy it or sell it at some top-notch dollar, but just trying to buy and hold it and keep it under the legacy? And so I want everyone to think about the housing there in Tulsa and what it would look like to sort of start to create and build that community, even if you're Airbnb in this, because Tulsa does get a lot of tourist attraction. They have a huge tourist attraction that's happening there. And one of the guys who's running their housing and economic growth for inclusivity is the CEO of Tulsa Housing, which is Aaron Darden. And while I didn't get a chance to sit down and talk with him, what was something that I found was important was that he was and still is instrumental in the housing landscape in Tulsa. And he came out, a little bit beforehand, and I think it's important for us to really take a look at what is happening under some of their CDBG funds, because that is the HUD housing portion. And when you go back to the website, you'll see under their grants division that there is a lot of HUD housing opportunities that they are going after as a city. But they're going to need help. They're going to need people who say this is who understand mixed income and uses. So I wanted to just bring just that one opportunity to us to the table, just so we can start understanding how far the affordable housing programs and some of the community revitalization projects have been shaping and will continue to shape North Tulsa and a lot of our own areas, so that we don't become a victim of gentrification, but we become a proponent for controlled regeneration and protect the core of our communities before a lot of this money gets pushed in there. So there is in progress, and I will talk about this, and I will try to pause it for a minute, the Kilpatrick Heights Greenwood Master Plan. If you do get a chance to go in there and take a look at that, I strongly suggest you look at the community revitalization projects, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity in what we call the TIF, or the tax increment increment financing programs or funds. And when you look at some of these other tax incentives that are coming, it is going to make more sense when I tell you that on the national level, on the HUD level, they are getting ready to bring back their opportunity zones. And those who do remember the opportunity zones, they actually started back during the Obama administration, but Trump took it over when he came in, and then it was sort of shifted because it became something different under the Trump administration. Well, he is going back to that. During that time, it was Ben Carson who was leading the HUD agency, and his philosophy was centered not so much about affirmative action in housing or democracy in housing, but it really was this capitalistic view of first come, first serve, however much you put in. It was, in fact, as discriminatory as it had been when the days of Tulsa entered, and we had to find a way to compete, even in the atmosphere where the rules were rigged against us. We still won. We still competed, and it was the people's spirit that continued to propel it. And I'm saying that you have that fertile ground right now in Tulsa. And if you understand, not just what the history has been, but also who has been the history makers, it was people like us on this call. It was people like Dr. Carter. It was people like Sister Rahima. It was people like Mayor Nichols and people like Sister Kane that helped to shift and shape the landscape of infrastructure there in Tulsa. And so I wanted to share that opportunity because I am going to be continually going back here as an example for local communities, because it's not just dear to the organization's mission and the legacy, but it also serves as an example for all other places so that we can follow suit in making sure that we're taking advantage of those opportunities that are available to us. I'm going to pause it here because I don't want to go too far, but that's about it. But I'm going to stop it here just because I don't want us to get too deep into it. I want to start us off by understanding the e-commerce business. I will say this last thing because I spoke with the president of Greenwood District Chamber of Commerce, and he is ready. I've seen some of these places. He is ready for us, even if they're virtual offices. We're fine with that. But it's able to start, and I've already spoke with Sister Rahima. For those of us who have products and services that want to be sold, we do have drop shipping there available. So we have a warehouse available for that type of work, and she's already secured it. And, I mean, you just got to give it to the sister. She's just rocking and rolling, and I love her to death. But now it's time for us to start actually making it. And so I'm going to be the first one. By the end of summer, I will have secured a office location there just because I want to make sure I'm supporting it. But I'm asking all of us as business owners who are listening to this call to let's start looking at the e-commerce business and having a satellite or a virtual office in a place so we can support their local economy. And that's all I'm going to say there. And I'm going to say more about that later, but I just want to introduce it this way for today.
Amen. Amen. Thank God. Hallelujah. You know, as I was listening to Brother Dailey speak, two words that he used from his generation. I think that he's probably the youngest person on this call. I don't know, so many of you now today. But the first word he used was spirit. And so that you will know, Black Wall Street family, I consider you as a child rescued off a doorstep in the sunny side of Houston, Texas. I was not abandoned. I was rescued by Mary Carter. I consider you my family. I don't just consider you state director or deputy chief of staff or any position or your degrees or height or weight. I consider you family in the spirit, because when you grow up not looking at people who look like you or have any resemblance to you, that does something to your spirit. So God changes that. Instead of it being physical resemblances, it's spiritual resemblances. Now, this leads into the other word that Brother Dailey used, and that is resilience. Resilient. If you notice, resemblances and resilience start with two letters, R-E. There was a song out there, let's say, let's do it again, let's do it again. It was a worldly song. Some of y'all know it back in the 70s, so don't act like you've been holy and righteous all your life. But this movement exists. This is a movement. And it exists because our ancestors want us, their future generation, to be resilient in our efforts to resemble them, to do what they did. And you cannot do what they did with your degree. I don't care how many businesses you have. I don't care how much money you have. That is not what resembles them. What resembles them is their resilience, forced to be resilient at the hand of Massa. So just because you're not 180 years old, 280 years old, there's no excuse as to why it should not be in your heart to do what our ancestors did. You know, there was a time, Brother Dailey, where, I was in my ego preacher, a little younger than you. I wouldn't let people call my number unless they talked about God first. Because, people like to call me and use me as their sounding board because I have that type of heart. But I said, oh, no, y'all can't be calling me with your problems, your issues, and not talk about God first. What is wrong? So the Spirit came on to me one day and said, okay, you need to humble yourself, because not everybody's going to do that. You have to guide them to doing that. And so I just want to tell all of you, especially those who you participated in the activities last week, that God and our ancestors are proud of you. Hear me and hear me again. Yeah, God is proud of us and disappointed with us, just like we are with our kids. How can you be proud of your child and disappointed with them at the same time? That's just how it is. And so our ancestors are proud, not because we had a multi-million-dollar marketing budget to have events, but Dr. Little, Sister Reese, oh my God, the matriarch of the movement, Sister. Y'all know now why she's the matriarch of the movement. Brother Dailey, and others who went to Tulsa and did what you did. Our ancestors are proud of you. God is proud of you. And take solace in that fact. Okay. Now, so I encourage all of you, let's see, was that Friday or Thursday? Whatever Brother Dailey did, the 2.5 hour lecture, that is on our YouTube channel. You can go there, and it's the very last Tulsa upload. So just click on, what do they click on? The videos, and then look for the most recent Tulsa update, and you'll see the first face you'll see is Sister Karen Reese giving instructions, running things, and then Brother Dailey goes into his lecture. This will be my 8th time watching it. And I'm telling y'all, my God, my God, my God. The anointing and gift of Brother Dailey was on display. He has an anointing and a gift to not just teach, but to make what he teaches stick. Okay? And so that's why God placed him in Black Wall Street. A lot of people want to take credit, but you will never hear Dr. Carter taking credit for Black Wall Street USA, the movement. So I encourage none of you to do that. So going forward, when you get on the phone with somebody, make sure God is at the top of that conversation. That's why when you call me, what do I say? God bless you. Because I know you're not going to talk about God first. You're going to go right into your stuff. Oh, no, let's back it up. Because if it wasn't no oxygen in your body, because I ain't never heard dead people complain about anything. So if it wasn't no oxygen in your body, who God provided, you need to talk about him first, then go into your stuff. I don't mind listening. I just want to let all of you know that the eyes of the world, the web team sent me a screenshot of a millisecond of unique visits to our website. Man, we've been getting visits from Australia, Malaysia, Beijing, Russia. Who in Russia want to know about Black Wall Street? Russia? Putin. I'm talking about Vladimir Putin, the Eastern Europe Trump, and Europe and the whole west coast of South America. You know, Suriname, Argentina, Brazil, the Caribbean. It's lit up, y'all. Just text 516-847-2334 directed to the web team, and they will text you a screenshot of the most recent. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because when the devil persecutes, let's just say this, growth comes out of persecution. All right? When people go to the gym, lift all them heavy weights, they tear in their muscles. They're persecuting their muscles. Well, what happens? After a while, the muscles get bigger. So growth comes out of persecution. Jesus, or Yeshua, was persecuted. What happened? Now look at us. We call ourselves Christians, but God would prefer we call ourselves kingdom citizens. Nonetheless. So understand, our ancestors were persecuted. But it laid way to a diverse nation where the Indian and the Arab and the Jewish and the Irish and all of these different ethnic backgrounds benefited from the persecution of our ancestors. So when you walk into a Indian-owned hotel and they're nasty with you, just kindly remind them, you own this business because our ancestors died for you to have this business in the hood. When you go into the liquor store, which Muslims aren't supposed to sell liquor, they're not Muslims if they sell liquor, but if you go in there, they're acting funny, not giving money to the black church, not giving money to black organizations in the community where they're siphoning the money, you let them know you would not have a business. You wouldn't be in this country had our ancestors, black folk, people look like me, did not sacrifice me. There was no civil rights leader for the Korean. There was no civil rights leader for the Chinese. There was no civil rights leader for the Hispanics and the Latinos. It was Cesar Chavez, but to some degree. There was no leaders for any other community in America for their civil rights, their voting rights, their women's rights. All of their rights are tied up into Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth. That's how they have rights. That's how they can come to your community, do your wife or girlfriend's fingernails and toenails and take the money out. Because our ancestors died. So our ancestors didn't just die. They were sealed in the spirit. All right, I didn't get enough out when I preached yesterday, so I had to share that with y'all. I didn't get it all out. I want to do something right quick. Now, let's see here. Come here. Pull up that page. And our interns, y'all, oh, bless them. We started a new semester with them and those who were in the previous semester are back with us for the summer, so we thank God for them. And I want to highlight one leader, certainly Sister Rahima. I just thank you so much for all that you did. And I'm going to take you off mute, but I don't want you to interrupt me. You are an amazing spirit. And you put all, except maybe a couple of the other state directors, to shame. Now, I'm not going to tell your age. You're a young lady, but you're a mature young lady. But you put them to shame. And so if you're on here listening and you're a state director, you need to get on your game. No, for real. When God gets to cleaning house, like he did in the temple, 2nd chapter of John, the canonical gospel, go read it. You don't want to be the ox and the sheep or the money changer. That's all I'm saying. You want to be the dove. But Sister Rahima, You give me inspiration. You're amazing spirit. You're amazing black woman, matriarch, leader, and you are the entire, in my opinion, Black Wall Street, Oklahoma State Council. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Black Wall Street USA for what you did. I want to also acknowledge another young lady, and I'm going to just do this right quick. I ain't going to hold y'all. It's 2 o'clock. LaTanya Williams, Cody Roden, Akili Richard, Katie Arnold, David Acosta, Gib DeKaley, Derek Walker, Tiesha Rusk, Teresita Mason, Verna Brown, Larry Robinson, Larry Manning, Ashley McDaniels, Vanessa Pipkin, Shanice Morgan, Shauna Hayes, Katina Ryland, Kyle Lynch, Amin Camus, Tardane Robinson, Randolph Seal, Cheryl White, Kimberly Proctor, Jeanette Berry, Tony Jones, and Sister Zuriel Gibson. Every name I just mentioned was joined Black Wall Street because of one young lady, and I met her in 2018, and that's Dr. Janice Little. Dr. Little, we thank you from the bottom of our heart in Black Wall Street. People are calling, emailing. They're learning so much from them Zooms. If you and Brother Dailey have collaborated, and Black Wall Street USA thanks you. God, we bless you. We thank God for you. You own it, and there's no adjectives to describe. It's orderly. And so all you state directors who are dragging your feet on your Zoom call, go look at Texas. You model your Zoom call after Dr. Little. In fact, she's helping Sister Rahima on Sundays with hers. But everybody I just mentioned, they came to Black Wall Street because of Dr. Little, and probably more. And we just want to thank her. Finally, Sister Karen Reese. Everybody you know needs to go and download, purchase it twice. If you got 6 credit cards, go do it 6 times on 6 credit cards, the Greenwood Avenue Project. And there's no excuse now. Byron Allen is behind this, big time. He's distributing this through his platform. You need to get the Greenwood Avenue Project. Not only get it for yourself, but get it for a gift for someone else. Okay? Don't narrow this, as Brother Dailey taught us earlier, to just black folk. You need to teach even Native Americans need to know. All them treaties that was broken and lies, we got white folks to tell the truth. We're not civil. Boom, civil rights law. We had to have them tell the truth. You're not a civil nation. So the Greenwood Avenue Project needs to be on your phone, on your tablet, on your TV, on your Google, whatever, Chromecast. Get it. Thank you so much. And Sister Reese, I want to thank you especially for your donation to you made Sister Phillips come to tears. She really believes in you, and she thanks you. And if you get a call from her, don't be surprised, because you came through. And that went a long way for our young people. All right, that's enough. Now I'm going to open this up to anyone who has. Yes, please remember members who are in bereavement. Just Saturday, 2 of our members passed away, and one of them near and dear. And I've been asked to go and do the eulogy, but keep everybody in prayer. Also, Sister Billy Parker down there at the Black Wall Street Market. You guys go there when you're in the Tulsa area. Please support what she's got going there. Oh, now I need to touch on this. Wait a minute now. The Greenwood Chamber of Commerce and the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce. Listen, people. If our ancestors would frown on any division and unhealthy competition, all that they sacrifice. In 2011, 12, somewhere around there, I made it a point to be the only district or merchants association at a function where there were 9 other black chambers of commerce in the Bay Area. 9 other chambers of black chambers showed up at the Lexus dealership in East Oakland by the freeway for a mixer. Black Wall Street, when we had our infancy, was the only organization representing a cluster of black businesses. And I was young. I was about Dailey's age, maybe a little younger. They didn't expect much from me. Whatever makeup them women had on their faces was on their blouses because they was crying. Whatever ego them brothers had up in there. I had to let every black man know in there that you have not died. You have not shed your blood for the masses of our people. You don't have a legacy. So I taught them about Black Wall Street because they kept saying, I know about Black Wall Street. But when I really got to the nuts and bolts of it, one brother had to go out. His stomach was so turned up. So we're not going to focus. If they do things that are beneficial and really, truly work with Mayor Nichols, we'll work with them. But we're not going to focus on groups. We're not going to focus on chambers. You only focus in the spirit. Okay, that's enough. All right. Let's see. Y'all take them off. Please take them off lecture. All right, they're going to take you off lecture, and I'm going to decrease. I want to thank State Director Little, State Director Williams. They gave me a list. State Director for being on the call, and if I missed any of our other leaders, please don't charge it to my head. Okay, any questions, any comments? Sister Kane, thank you for being on. And Sister Randy Randolph Smith, State Director for California. All right, any questions for Brother Dailey? Any comments, any encouraging or edifying words? Everybody should be unmuted. Okay, I got to call names then. All right, give me who's on there. Who did I call? Can you hear me? Am I muted? Oh. Hello?
This year.
Okay, now we're unmuted.
They in another room, and I'm trying to keep them away from me because when I get food, they want to eat. All right. Y'all give Brother Dailey a big hand so he can hear y'all. Come on, give him a big hand. Come on, y'all. Come on.
Clap.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man.
God bless you, Brother Dailey.
Boy, I tell you, I'm like, who got a question?
I have a question.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead, Sister Rahim.
Oh, yes, sir. I just want to thank God for the team of folks who came.
I'm crying.
That you talked about, sisters from Dr. Little and Sister Karen, they came, and, I started off with a case of water for the first session with our brother, and they turned it into a nice brunch. But I just thank God because none of that would have happened. Of course, he was the fire engine that was running everything. He worked us to death. If you want to work, you just get by Brother Dailey. He will work you. He worked us in that computer room. And I thank God for him because a lot of places we go, it wasn't about touring. Dr. Carter gave us an assignment. He said our purpose is supposed to be to advance, enhance, and elevate. So they advanced on North Tulsa. They enhanced in their knowledge, and I enhanced in mine. And they got enough information to take back to their communities and elevate their community. So we stay right on task, the purpose that Dr. Carter gave us. So I thank God for these people in the movement who are really making things happen because I couldn't have done any of that without them. And I'll turn it over to someone else. I do have a couple of questions, but I'll wait. Go ahead. Thanks for letting me share.
I have.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is Brother Beasley. I've been away doing a lot of bidding business. I do want to thank Brother Dailey for continuing to be, like Brother Dr. Carter said, the word is resilient. A lot of people understand the magnitude of that word, but that resilience alludes to having the consciousness to keep moving in spite of what may be going around. His resilience brought us the opportunity to be a part of this whole Tulsa movement. I'm excited that they're opening the opportunity for us to actually have satellite offices and virtual offices there. And I've been introduced to 4 or 5 multi-million-dollar company that's going to help bring on and accentuate the wealth of Black Wall Street. But back in the day, Black Wall Street really alluded to wealth and building millionaires. So our goal is to create and replicate exactly what they started out to do. So we want to be able to create and say, we got to ask the question and the report, hey, how many millionaires have you created? Well, XYZ. So my goal, God's Spirit put it on me to go ahead and go out and find and vet business opportunities so we can perpetuate the wealth concept of Black Wall Street. Brother Dailey actually brought in, is creating the template so we can actually orchestrate our plans through his template, the infrastructure, the opportunities, the watching situation. So he's created a dynamic template for us to go in and implement and create and continue to accentuate and provide and create generational wealth for all of our people. So I thank him so heartily for just being resilient and having the faith in what he's doing, and Dr. Carter giving me the latitude to be a part. Again, I can't thank him enough for being resilient. And we talked several times about some things I'm actually introducing as well, so we'll talk a little bit later about that. But we are on the right. I'm excited about being able to put a satellite office and a physical office, not only introducing e-commerce but other business opportunities as well too, so we can continue to generate generational wealth. So great job, Dr. Carter, for having the fortitude to bring him in that capacity. I'm done.
Okay, sister. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm on now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We can hear you.
Okay, this is Dr. Little, and I just want to highlight my experience because, I'm one of those, when I get the education, I strongly believe in implementing what is being taught. And he did a phenomenal job with demonstrating how to integrate using that AI technology into submitting the application, going through the different color codes, identifying communities and key people who can help you with the proposal, being able to take the information, come back, and submit an application. That was my takeaway and my tool of measuring success of being in that space. Now, another indicator that he did, when you're in a space and you're able to engage everyone in the room, Mr. Dailey did a phenomenal job with engaging everyone in the room, including that little 9-year-old that I have in the space. And so he's to be commended for engaging the kids, engaging the people who just happen to walk into the session, engaging them in conversation to find out about who they are, and giving them an opportunity to share who they are and how he can continue to add value in what they're doing as well. And I just want to say I sincerely thank him because he guided everything he was doing with a spiritual movement. He has that little kid of mine learning that scripture. So that's it. And look forward to implementing more strategies with what we're getting on these calls. And I also want to share about the Texas team, because when you get the information, you have to have a strong team with implementing and going through the process of submitting a grant application. We had Dr. Arnold, when I say she stayed in the game all the way up until midnight, going back and forth with this AI technology. He was in there standing strong with reviewing the application. Mr. Gibbs, people were sharing different connections and helping give them feedback on the application. They were in there when it was time to be in the trenches with submitting. And so with that being said, we're looking forward to continue to submitting applications and working with people not only in Texas. You know how I am. I open up and work with everyone, regardless of the communities. We will work with you here in Texas on that Monday morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time Zoom call. That's all I have for today. Thanks, Dr. Carter, for allowing me the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Dr. Little. Next. Okay. Anybody else want to say anything before I invite? Yeah, I would like to emphasize. Oh, go ahead.
This is Apple Kane from the great city of.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh, Lord. Can you hear me?
Okay, now.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, just wanted to commend everyone that went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, all our state directors that went there and really showed up and showed out. And it was a truly blessing to be there to help Sister Rahima. And they have some ongoing plans for next year that they'll be discussing later on. But we just so excited about everyone that came together to try to make Black Wall Street be what it was set out to be 104 years ago, how many years it's been, but 104 years ago. But it's just amazing. And so, again, Dailey, I heard about the great things from different ones that happened. I couldn't make it, but I will make sure that connection was there that was connected to me to inform me of what went on. I'm looking forward to going and spending about 2 weeks with Sister Rahima to learn more about the Black Wall Street and the environment and things of that nature. I'm excited about that. We've talked about that on a later date. But I wanted to also remind everyone that on Saturday we have our Black Wall Street, Mississippi, and the pop movement is having their 10th year celebration. And we're looking forward to great things. We're honoring our fathers on the ground when all men will have crowns on their head. And we have and we're having an educational event. We have our youth that are doing skits. We have a 3-year-old that's coming up and doing an introduction of the young people that's doing the skits. And we're just trying to get the children and the parents and the whole community involved because there's so many people don't know about Juneteenth like they don't know about Black Wall Street. So education must go forward to get activation so that we can be able to create a lifetime of motivation so this legacy can continue. So I just wanted to tell you, if y'all have anybody that live in this area, please call them and tell them to come out to the grounds of Mount Bayou, Mississippi. Our caravan parade starts at 12. Our event starts at 1 o'clock. So we are excited. I'm very excited, commemorating 160 years since Juneteenth was first put into motion. People, we have a lot to be proud about our accomplishment. We have a lot. And our theme is from change, C-H-I-N-S, to change, C-H-A-N-G-E. It's time for a change because our ancestors went through the change. They went through some hell, but we now are in position to make all that they set out to be to become a reality. Thank you for listening to me. Back to you.
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Kane. And if you want to see two things, Sister Rahima, right quick. Us in Mississippi, and when Sister Kane got go to our YouTube, YouTube.com, the @ and then Black Wall Street USA. Wherever you see the Black Wall Street Mississippi logo, just watch that video, and it will touch your heart. Sister Kane is not a novice; he's a veteran of this movement, and there are a lot of Sister Kanes in this. There's only one Ethel Kane left. We thank God for you, sister. We thank God for what you have done and how you allowed God to use you and she's one of those, like so many, no matter what's going on in her life, I have to tell her sometimes, you need to go handle you put that down. But she wants to work. She wants to get it done. She's like the little Energizer bunny. And but we thank God for you, for all that you have contributed, and not just to Black Wall Street, but the pop movement as well. So we're not only she gonna spend 2 weeks in Tulsa, but she's gonna set up a pop movement affiliate so it can be in Oklahoma, so that people can understand the practicality of the power of the penny. Did I say that right, Sister Kane?
You always do say it, always right. You admire me.
Another pot.
Yes,
Another pot.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And also, I want to give you some pioneers. Now, remember, I told you, Black Wall Street family, every one of you, when I ask you who is your, Greenwood. Now, I don't count back to the 1920s. Black Wall Street, for me and my spirit, starts in the year 1830. Okay. And that leads me to, I'm going to call on Sister Rahima to talk about it. But that is when the Trail of Tears began for our ancestors. And so we're looking at almost 195 years. And so, but with regards to that, there's a couple of pioneers that I want you to go to the website and read about. The first one is Brother Simon Berry. So go to blackwallstreet.org/Simon Berry. Okay? And also, Brother Otis Clark. We gave him a proclamation, I believe, 14 years ago. I don't know. But anyway, they called him the biggest evangelist, one of the greatest evangelists out there, Brother Otis Clark. These stories will move you. Now, all the stories, all the pioneers we got on our website, everybody from Mabel Little to Emma Gurley, I encourage you to read those as well. But read these two stories about these brothers. Focus on their life. But everybody on this call in the Black Wall Street family, I always encourage you, select a Black Wall Street pioneer as your spiritual mentor. Let their life, everything that they've done, you need to want to try to find out about it. Every time you hear somebody talk about it. Because Christ is enough by himself. But when we're talking about Greenwood, when we're talking about how Greenwood became, you need to understand the players, the people that played a role. Simon Berry, Otis Clark, and so many others. So go to the site today and read it. All right, Sister Rahima?
Yes, sir. Well, I have a question for Mr. Dailey, if he's still in. I was just wondering if he ever got in touch with Mr. Armstrong, who had the 100 acres. If not, I can give it to Sister Esther Kane Russell. I promised her I would give her his information. But I don't know if Mr. Dailey's still on.
Yeah, Sister Rahima, get with me offline on that, okay? We'll talk about that.
Okay, that'll be fine.
All right. But I'm glad you said that. One of the things I will say for everybody is when they get a chance that they need to, all of our business needs to sign up for the Small Business Enterprises at Tulsa. Take a look at that. I didn't mention that earlier, but I know we're already almost done here. We're 20 minutes over. But everyone, please do take a look at those SBEs because we need to start registering our businesses, and that's a 10% set-aside. And when the mayor increases that 10% set-aside for businesses, we need to already have a tenure and already have our names put in there. Okay, just the FYI, I'll talk about it again later, but just keep that in the back of your mind, the Small Business Enterprise Directory. We need to all be on there.
Right. And please, I'd like for everybody in that regard, I'd like for everyone to also keep in mind that Black Wall Street was already doing business abroad. And that's open for us because the self-help states have their own connection that we can connect to and really really handle some business. So we'll talk about, that also at a later time. I just want to quickly mention I'll tell you, Mr. Dailey worked us so much that some things we didn't get a chance to get done. So we're going to finish it up before next year. So, and one of the things that we're going to do is a Trail of Tears, because I was supposed to get back with Dr. Guyton and Sister Deterville in Florida, because we want to start. We have to plan for that Trail of Tears, because we've got to hit cities. We got to have a green, not like the green book. We have to have a red, black, and green book, so we'll know, because we know they're still hanging out our young men today in 2025 in these states. So we want to have a red, black, and green book to know which towns we should go into and which towns we should stay out of. So in addition to the ones that the Trail of Tears hit. So that's going to be a really big project. But it's amazing that in Black Wall Street, there are people who have all this information. They have all this information. We just need a chance to come together on a call and work on that project, so we can have people coming here next year, God willing, 2026, to as Trail of Tears. We call it Trail of Tears 2. Trail of Tears 2. I'd also like to remind you of Dr. Little's call on Saturday at 9 a.m. She starts on time, and if you want an example of how you should be running your call, just be there at 9 o'clock on Saturday to see how Dr. Little handles the business. The Black Wall Street call will be on Sunday at 6 p.m. Dr. Little will also be opening that up for me, and I'd like to present some of the other things that we did during that time. And Dr. F. Kane Russell, what was yours also? Well, to remind you about Dr. F. Kane's the Pop Movement's plan on Saturday, getting down to Mount Bio if you're in that neck of the woods. And with that, I just want to thank everybody for their input. Thank everybody for the hard work that they did. I mean, it's nothing like you want something done, you just call on those women in Texas. Talking about they do things big in Texas, they were handling Texas was here. The males and the females were here, and I thank God for Texas. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Carter. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Rahima. And again, we thank God for you. You bring so much inspiration, and as Brother Dailey said, he hit the nail on the head with terms of your energy, your spirit. And so I just thank God for all of you for what you have done. And we're not going to hold you, because I know it's Monday, we're busy. But if all minds are clear, I can't see who's on, and I don't know if there are any newer members, but if you are on, we certainly welcome you to the Black Wall Street family. And let's see. But anyway, thank God for you being here. Are there any closing remarks? They say we got people represented from 26 states here. So, I mean, that's a good call today. Yeah, 26 different states. So that's, I don't know what they were, Montana. And but anyway, thank God for all of you attending today. It's brought a blessing to our heart. Let me just leave a word with you. I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praises shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord, and the humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Come magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. That's Psalm 34. Let that Psalm 34 bless you. Before we complain, before we criticize, before we gripe, grieve, try blessing the Lord first. Before you come up with anything, bless God first. And if you notice, he blesses us first. We still breathe, still moving, we still able to do things. I have 2 funerals coming up. And, you know, all of us know what come along with family members dying and families and things. So pray for your leader. But that could have been us. So I just want to encourage you today. Bless God first and see what happens. All right. All right. Well, God bless all of you. We're going to call it to it. Brother Dailey, you had any closing remarks? Is he still on?
Yeah, I'm still here. No, I'm all good. Just thank y'all. I love y'all. We'll see each other next week.
Awesome. All right.
Peace and
Yeah. Right. That's right. Right. Well, peace and blessings, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr.
All right. Oh, that's his name. Good talk. What I got left? Zoom. All right.
I'm gonna get off.
I need to go downstairs to do because I want to sit down on what's the name? We got 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. Hope everything is in the car because